Hi everybody, TJ Mac Vintage Cards and Nostalgia here, and I'm excited to do this series of videos here. It's going to be a three-part series where I'm going to show off the 50 players that I enjoy collecting most in my collection. And the reason why I'm doing this is I like the top 50 videos. I didn't want to do one with the top 50 most valuable cards. Not that I'm against it. It's kind of interesting, to be honest with you. But it's just not really how I focus as a collector. The biggest part of my collection are runs of cards of players that I've put together. And that's what I wanted to share today is the 50 players that I enjoy collecting most. And you're not going to see players like Jimmy Fox in here or Babe Ruth or anything like that, because I only have one Jimmy Fox card and one Mel Ott card, and I don't really consider myself an active collector of them because I don't have a lot of their cards. I just like to have maybe one or two of their cards in my collection. And maybe over time I'll get some more, but I want to focus on cards of players that I've actually built pretty nice runs of, or I plan on building larger runs of, and that's where I wanted to take this video. So I'm going to pick those 50 players that I enjoy collecting the most, and that can change from year to year as well as your tastes change. Probably the top 10 isn't going to move much, but the numbers from 11 to 50 probably shift around some. So I'm going to plan to do this from time to time because I think it's a fun idea. And I'm also going to make this a video response to Jake at Legends Never Die, because he wanted us to do a response to him for a contest on what we focus on as collectors, and I thought this was a good chance to do that. I have some new subscribers, and this is just my way of sharing some cards in my collection, showing you the different variety that I have. And I do really try to emphasize a quantity of quality in my collection, and it's something that you're going to see in the focus here that I'm going to show today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 50 on my list. I'm going to do 50 through 30 today and then count down further, or actually 50 to 31. So number 50 on my list is Marcel Dion, and this is the 1975 Topps card of his. As far as his player run goes, I have all of his regular issue cards, not all-stars or anything like that, from 1971 to 1985. 1971 was his rookie. The reason why I like him a lot is I met him. He's one of the only couple of the hockey players I've ever met in my life. I worked an alumni event with him, and I actually got to escort him around for the afternoon, and he was one of the nicest, most humble people in sports that I bet you is around. He's just such a nice guy. At that time, he was the third all-time leading scorer in NHL history, and you would never know that in just talking with him. He was not arrogant at all. He had very few demands. I don't think he had any demands of anything when I met with him. He just signed everybody's autographs, just very polite, and he signed and personalized a picture for me as well, which is something that I really treasure and appreciated. So this is his 1975 Topps card. You can see on the card as well is, I believe it's Ron Lowe, the goalie with the Capitals. And I just like this shot, so I picked this one as the one to represent my Marcel Dion for this video. It's a beautiful card. I'll flip it over so you can see the back of it. And Dion was a great player. So that is number 50 on my list, Marcel Dion. Number 49 is Lyle Alzado, and for him I only have his 1972 Topps rookie and his 79 Topps. He's somebody I want to get more of his cards of. Doesn't mean I'm going to build a complete run, but I just want to get more of his cards into my collection. I enjoyed watching him growing up. He was quite a tough guy on the field, and I know he was doing steroids, and he actually passed away of a brain tumor. I think it was in 1991 or 92. And I have a lot of respect for him because in the end he did admit that he did steroids and the problems that it caused in his life. And I think it took a lot for him to do that. And it's something that I do respect. And I always enjoyed watching him as a player. So he's somebody that I want to get more of his cards into my collection. So this is his 1979 Topps, which is the favorite one that I have so far, in that nice Broncos orange jersey. And then you got the AFC All-Pro designation with the multicolor football in the corner up there. 79 Topps is just a set that has a lot of good memories for me. It's one of the ones that I collected as a kid. Not going to talk a ton about all these players, but just a little bit to give you some idea of why I have them on here. Number 48 is Ken Dryden, one of the best goalies to ever play in the NHL, and certainly one of the winningest goalies in NHL history as far as winning percentage goes. Just a fantastic goaltender for those Canadiens dynasty teams of the 1970s. And I picked this card. It was between this one and his rookie card. I do have all his regular issue cards from 1971 and 1979, but this 76 is my favorite just because he's got that cool red, white, and blue mask, and he's just staring you down in the picture. And it's just one of my favorites of his, but I also do like his rookie a lot as well. And then there's the back of this card. And I'm not looking to add any more Ken Drydens to my collection because I already have, like I said, all his playing days regular issued cards. Number 47 is the 85 Topps Eric Dickerson. Now for Dickerson, I have his regular cards for Topps from 1984 to 1989. That's all I'm looking to add because I collect the Topps cards up to 1989. But this one is my favorite because I just love all the gear that he has on. It's one of the things I remember about him is his upright running style. He just wore the big shoulder pads and the mouthpiece that kind of hung out from his mask there, and he's got the goggles on. Just a very cool image of him that really captures the essence of who Eric Dickerson was. And it's a Topps All-Pro card, as you can see in the upper corner there. Very nice looking card. And there's the back. So I'm considering my Eric Dickerson run complete from 84 to 89, and just a player that I enjoy. So on this list, I'm doing 20 football, 20 baseball, and 10 hockey. That's going to comprise my 50 cards, and this basically works out on how my graded card distribution is. I'm probably about 60% baseball, 30%, maybe even more than that, football, and about 10%, or maybe a little more than that, hockey. So the first baseball player to appear on this list is Yogi Berra, and he is the 45th card here. Or, I'm sorry, the 46th card here. And this is his 1950 Bowman. And of Berra, I have his 50 Bowman and then his 56 Topps to 1965 Topps cards. Not sure if I'm going to get any more. I have a Bowman example, which I always wanted. I might maybe get one more card. We'll have to see. But Berra is somebody that I'm a Yankees fan, and he's just one of the great characters of the game, as everybody knows. And then this is just a beautiful copy here of the 50 Bowman. My favorite card of his, so I'm very happy with what I have with my Berra collection. Number 45 on my list is the 1981 Topps Randy White. And of him, I have his cards from 1976, which is his rookie, all the way up to 1985. He did, I believe, have a card in 86. I may or may not get it, but I have the ones that I would like to have. And the 81 is the one I picked because this was one of the first years that I ripped a ton of football packs, and I pulled this card many times, so it brings back good memories for me. Beautiful example of this card as well, and you can see the NFC All-Pro there with the black banner with the yellow lettering. Very cool looking card, I think. I'll flip it over. And he was nicknamed the Manster, and he was an All-Pro defensive tackle converted from linebacker with the Dallas Cowboys. And there's Randy White. Number 44 is Stan Mikita, and for him I have his cards from 1962 Topps, then 1968 to 1979, which was his last year. And he's somebody that I have a lot of respect for as well. He was one of the first players to use a curved blade in the NHL, and that really allowed the shots to come off that quicker, and it was a little bit more unpredictable for the goalies, and probably sped up goalies wearing masks because it did make the game even that much more dangerous. Just an excellent player, MVP player, I believe at least one MVP. And what got me into him is, as a kid, he was somebody that my dad liked and one of my dad's friends would often talk about. So I just think about that when I think about Stan Mikita. And I love the 73 Topps horizontal shot here with the green border. Just a nice action photograph from that era. And I will flip it over to the back. And I'll add some more early Stan Mikitas to my collection. I'm planning on doing more of a focus on hockey going forward, just because I have a lot of the baseball and football cards that I want. That's Stan Mikita. Number 43 on my list is Willie Mays. For Mays, I have his 56 tops all the way through to his last card in 1973. So I just need the 55 and before Bowman and Topps issues. I don't know how many I'm going to get. I'll probably get one of the Bowmans, maybe his 54. But I'm pretty happy with my Mays collection. My favorite, I like his 66 tops, but I also like the 62 tops Mays. It's just a beautiful example. With the wood grain, I really like the nice sharp corners on these, and these are pretty good for a nice mid-grade copy. And Mays, of course, you don't need to say much about him. One of the greatest players of all time. I'm more of a Mantle fan than a Mays fan, but I certainly have a lot of respect for Willie Mays and the player that he was. So always happy to have his cards in my collection. And there's the back of the 62. And there's Willie Mays. 42 on my list is somebody that I've been getting more into with my collecting because he was one of my favorite players as a kid, and that's Dave Parker. Here's his 1980 Topps card. For Parker, I have his 74 rookie and then 77 to 1980. So he's a growing run of cards that I'm putting together. And I'm probably going to get 74 to maybe 83 or 84 of his cards, just because he is somebody that I was a big fan of, and I really liked him a lot during his Pirates years. So look to expand my collection of him some. But this is my favorite card of his. There's the back of it. Parker made a lot of great cards, and I've been showing him off in my videos here and there lately. So that is Dave Parker. Here's number 41 on the list, Otto Graham. I do have all his playing days cards, which aren't many. I have his 1950 rookie all the way up to 1955. He only had issues in the Bowman sets. And my favorite of his is this 51 Bowman with the giant Brownie the Elf there, which was their logo at the time. Looks like he's about to toss a ball over there. And just nice background on this with the blue sky and the green grass. And this is a second year Otto Graham. There's the back of the card. And one of the great winners, never in his entire career, I think his career was 10 years. He played in the championship game every single year of his career. An outstanding quarterback, very underrated, I think. So there's the 51 Otto Graham. Number 40 on my list is Rocky Clavito. So for Clavito, I have his 58 tops and then 60 through 62 tops. I'm not going to put probably together his whole player run, but I am going to get several more of his cards. He's somebody I've become a huge fan of, especially over the last year, and I've been adding cards of his to my collection. Very underrated player, and I've been talking about him some lately. So this is a 61 tops, which was his best season, I think, as a professional player. And there's the back of it. And I just love the 61 set, so this is the card I chose to represent Rocky Clavito in this video. And number 39 is Walter Payton. I have his complete run of Topps cards from 1976 to 1987. My favorite is this 1980 Topps. And I think this is taken in Detroit, this image. I'm not positive. But I always like this one because I like the pink NFC All-Pro with the black banner. And just looks like he's about to catch a ball in warm-ups. My favorite Payton card. I like it even more than his rookie. I do like his 77 Topps and 79 Topps a lot as well. He made a lot of nice cards. But I don't plan on adding any more Payton cards to my collection. I consider my run of his complete since I have his playing days regular issue cards. There's the bright back of the 1980 Topps. There you have it. Number 38 is Johnny Bench. I do have his complete run of Topps cards from 1968 to 1983. I picked the 1970. I like the 69 a lot, and I love the 76, but I thought I'd show the 70 as something different because this is one I like as well with the gray border there with the white piping on the inside, and I just like the pose of him bending over there with the catcher's mitt out there. And I just think the reds go so nice with that gray border, the red color. Beautiful card, and one of the best backs I think is the yellow and blue here on the 70 Topps. So I don't plan on adding any more Johnny Bench cards to my collection, being I have his main run. I don't collect really all-star cards or anything like that, so I'm happy with what I have. There's Johnny Bench. Number 37, Danny White. He's probably not on a lot of lists, but when I was growing up, he was my favorite quarterback, probably my favorite player, him and Tony Dorsett. And I didn't have a lot of his cards. Right now I just have his rookie, his 77, and this 1979 Topps. I love this card. I want to add more of his cards to my collection. I might do a Topps Playing Days run. I don't get cards graded. I only buy them already graded, so it's a little hard to find his cards sometimes in the condition that I want them. But I do like this card very much. It's probably this and the 81 Topps are my two favorites of his. And he was a very underrated quarterback, taking over for Roger Staubach. He went into 3 NFC championship games in a row from 80 to 82. The Cowboys did lose all 3, but he was a good quarterback. And I'm just somebody I want to get more of his cards of. Here's the 1971 Topps Gilbert Parole. And I have his Playing Days cards from 1970 to 1984. And a couple of peaches thrown in there as well, because he didn't make an 81 Topps card, for example. And he's somebody that, growing up in Buffalo, he was their best player until Dominic Hasek came along. And just one of those players that was a great skater, could go from end to end, scored over 500 goals, and he was the Sabres' first true superstar. So somebody has a lot of meaning to me in my collection. And this is his 1971 Topps, his second year. My favorite card of his. Just a gorgeous example with the bubble lettering and the bright colors on this card. My favorite set in hockey is the 71 Topps. Just love this set. And number 35 on the list is Ernie Banks. I have all his cards from 1956 Topps to 1971 Topps. Again, just the regular issues, not the All-Stars and all of that. And I consider my run with his complete. I'm not interested really in getting his rookie. I might get his 55 Bowman. I do like that card, but I'm content with what I have of his. And just loved his enthusiasm, like many people, just how he approached the game, and just one of the first great shortstops as far as somebody that had great power numbers, RBIs. He won a pair of MVPs in 58 and 59. And this card I like a lot. It's got the really nice blue Cubs cap there and the bright yellow background and the Cubs logo. And then here's the back of the card. There's Ernie Banks. Number 34 on my list is Jim Brown. This is a 58 Topps rookie card of his. And one of my favorite cards in my collection just individually. But Brown is somebody, I have all his Playing Days cards from 1957 to 1966. The only one I don't have is a 61 Fleer, but I have the 61 Topps. So I will have that 61 Fleer at some point, because I am a pretty avid football collector from that era. I just haven't had a chance to get one yet. But this is my favorite Jim Brown card, and just a beautiful example here of his rookie. And then you can see the back of it. Not much to say. Probably make a case as one of the best player ever, certainly one of the best players ever. Number 33 on my list is Dick Butkus. I consider him certainly one of the greatest linebackers of all time, middle linebackers. And I do have all his cards from 66 to 74, Topps and Philadelphia, because he was part of the Philadelphia issues of 1966 and 67, and then Topps all the way out through to the end of his career. So I don't plan on adding any more Dick Butkus cards to my collection, but one of my favorite players, one of the great personalities of the game, as well as being a great player. Flip over the card here. And this is my favorite card of his. Just like the action shot here on the 73 Topps. And a very nice example. Now you can see why I'm only doing to card 31, because this video would be very long if I did all the way down to card number 1. So number 32 on the list is the Nolan Ryan. 69 Topps is what I'm showing to represent him. This is my favorite card of his. Just a beautiful example of this card. I have all of his regular Topps cards from 68 to 1989. So that's as far as I'm going with him. I'm happy with my collection, and really like this card with him on the Mets. And again, nothing to really be said about Nolan Ryan, just one of the best pitchers ever, and certainly somebody that I enjoy collecting and love having in my collection. And the last card for today, showing here is a 76 Topps George Brett. He's number 31 on my list. I said I'd go down to 30, but I'm going to go down to 31, and then I'll do 30 down to 11 in my next video. So I have all of Brett's Topps cards from 1975 to 1989. The 87 to 89 are Topps Tiffany cards. I'm not going to add any more Brett cards to my collection. I consider my run complete of what I wanted to put together. This 76 Topps is my favorite card of his. I just love the color matching on it with the blue and the brownish color. And this is a very tough card to get in good condition, and I'm very happy with my example of it. And then here's the back of the card. So I am sorry for this video being a little long, but it's hard to do this in any shorter amount of time. And this is one, people like listening to these types of videos, so hopefully you enjoy it. And I just want to recognize Jake one more time. Appreciate everything he's doing on his channel. I may have one more video this weekend because I do owe Theo Clemente Collector a response as well. Even if I miss his contest, I'm going to do a response to his VR that he wanted us to do of just well-loved cards in our collection. So with that, wish everybody a good day, and have a great weekend if I don't talk to you again through another video. Take care.